I'm Hayley Kay and welcome to another Grand Theatre vlog. I'm now joined by Chief Executive Ruth Eastwood. Now Ruth, I wanted to talk to you about all different aspects of the theatre, and I think one of the things that people may not appreciate or understand is that the theatre is actually a charity and relies heavily on public funding. Just tell us a little bit more about the charity aspect, because I genuinely think that people don't quite get it.
Yeah, so we were set up right back in 1972 as a charity with educational and artistic and heritage purposes, because the Grand Theatre is, it's a beautiful Grade 2 star listed building. And that was set up by a group of local people who saved the theatre from being demolished back then. And so we raise most of our money. 93% of our income comes through the tickets that we sell. Then we get a little bit of help from Blackpool Council and some help from the Arts Council England, but the rest of the stuff that we do, we raise funds from donations, from foundations and charities. So a lot of my work, people think that I've got a really exciting job where I meet a lot of stars, but actually mostly I'm writing bids and reports and just to keep us going, because we are proud of what we can bring to the town, and we want to be able to keep doing it.
Absolutely. Now, another thing I wanted to ask you is, talking of money, is there was some damage sustained to the building, and as we know, it's such a stunning building. And how, as a charity, do you go about paying for all that repair work?
Yes, we've ever since they've given storms names, we have been hit very, very hard. Earlier this year in February, the roof of where we're sitting now, the roof of this building, 9 tiles fell off, and because we're on the main street, obviously that's really dangerous, so we had to step in really quick. And the Friends of the Grand, who they're a charity as well, they're a separate charity from us, but their only purpose is to support the theatre, and they allowed us, paid for the mending of this roof, and we just finished it when lovely old Storm Brian came along and blew all of the leaves off our beautiful pineapple that's on the top of the dome. So we've had to do an inspection of that, and we will have, because again it's right on the high street, you can't have things flying off your roof and landing on the pavement. So we're just starting to fundraise to mend that. We will be putting bids into things like the Heritage Lottery and local trusts and foundations as well. And one that's already helped us is the Vera Wollstonecraft Trust. They've made a donation to kick off the mending of that bit. But in the future, we've got big plans really the theatre's 125 in 2019, and what we want to do is a really big capital project that makes us much more accessible, because although we're beautiful, in Victorian times they didn't think about things like having to climb up 55 steps to get to the top of the building and that. So we really want to be able to raise the money to put a lift in, to make the building more sustainable environmentally, and also more comfortable, not just for the customers but for the artists as well, because you'll know that
it's a long trek up to their dressing room.
It's a long trek up to and they could do with it more than a lick of paint. But
I guess it's hard because you've got to try and keep the building as beautiful as it is and not lose anything aesthetically, and then bring it up to modern standards. It's a bit of a balance of that. Yeah,
it is a challenge, and we look at all around the country at other theatres that have got similar value, heritage value, and we see what they do, and then we talk to the planners here and to the heritage people to make sure that we are preserving what is actually, this is a nationally important building. People in Blackpool I don't think they realise what they've got in terms of the Winter Gardens and the Tower and the Grand, all the beautiful old Victorian structures.
And the thing is, they're so beautiful. And I guess the other thing that people probably don't realise is you are much more than just a theatre. I know you have these amazing shows on and stuff, but your reach is far wider and out to the community. I mean, it seems to me, for everywhere I look, is that you're engaging with the elderly, you're engaging with the children, and so for people that don't know, just tell us a bit more about what you do for the wider community.
Yeah, okay. So we work a lot with older people, and just recently in the last year we've started a choir and we call it the Community Chorus.
Oh, I like that.
Yes. And actually, they performed at the Christmas Carol concert this week, which was really lovely. And it is about singing, and it is about learning a skill, but it's also about company and getting together and doing something, you know, to instead of sitting at home and watching the telly.
Yeah.
And the Friends of the Grand themselves, I mentioned before, they also volunteer for us, so they work at the theatre. And again, it's partly them giving back to the place that they love, but also it's fun and it takes you out of the house and it allows you to meet people.
You see, that's my tip when people come to the theatre. They go, oh God, give us a tip. You've spent lots of time there. I go, interval, get up to the circle, cup of tea and a biscuit, the great brews.
Yeah.
Great brews, that's always my tip. Go and say hi to the Friends of the Grand because they do a brilliant job.
They do, and they just they did the raffle at the Christmas concert that we've just had as well, and they've raised over £10,000 from the raffle. So that's really important because I mean, just mending this bit of the roof cost £50,000. So it's big bucks for us.
Wow, it's big bucks anyway. But so, for example, say you're you're someone that's interested in theatre and you're passionate about it. Is it easy to get involved with Friends of the Grand, or? It's
very easy to get involved with Friends of the Grand. There's sort of 3 different ways you can get involved. You can join because you want to get the discounts that they get,
which is good as well.
Which is good. You can join because you want to do something, and that could be, as you say, serving coffee or tearing tickets, or you can join simply because you love it and want to be part of it. So yes, it is very easy. We work a lot with young people as well. We've got 2 young companies here. So we've got the choir, which is mainly for older people. Mm-hmm. Then we've got a dance company called Fylde Coast Youth Dance.
Who are amazing.
That your sister used to work with.
Yeah, she did. Yes, they're so good. They're so talented.
They are really good, and they are obviously learning the skill of contemporary dance, but they do perform on our stage. They work with the choreographers that come here, and they have to audition every year to join the company. And last year we set up a theatre company, a young theatre company called Grand Young Company. Nearly forgot what they're called. And there's 30 members of that, and they come from all over Blackpool, and we work with You Are Potential and young carers, and not just kids in school but out of school or not in education. And the reason we do it is because we know, and you know, how powerful it is to have an experience where you're learning through doing. Yeah. And whether that's singing or dancing or performing, it's something that builds your self-confidence, it builds your literacy, and it builds your articulation. Not like me, like what?
But I think that's the thing. I think our chat definitely to me has revealed that the Grand is far more than a theatre. It just does and covers so many areas. And I guess when you're programming the shows, you have to consider all of your guests. Like you say, I'm bringing my little boy to Peppa Pig, but then like you say, there's lots of elderly Friends of the Grand that come and see all kinds of shows.
That's right, and that's what's nice about being. We're like companies visit us. Yeah. We're a bit like a hotel for theatre, and it changes. Sometimes it changes every day of the week, and sometimes it changes over the week. The longest run of things we do is in the summertime, and then in the autumn, Christmas with pantomime. Yeah, that variety is it's a great strength, but also it does mean that my wonderful marketing team and box office team and technical teams, they have to be jacks of all trades, because one minute they're selling a serious piece of Shakespeare, and the next minute it's Ken Dodd. Yeah. And it's never a boring moment, it has to be said.
Absolutely not. Well, thanks for chatting to me today. I know that you're busy, and everything that we've talked about today you can find out on their website. Head over there to blackpoolgrand.co.uk and find out why Blackpool's Grand Theatre is more than just a theatre.